plan was to do my immersion. Because for some of you people that might know, I have been studying Japanese on off. Okay, technically not on off, but I'm studying Japanese. I've been studying since 2021. But of course, I didn't study as religiously, as vigorously as everyone else because I have other life commitments and I couldn't really put this new acquired hobby of mine to occupy the rest of my life. So yeah, I mean, I have you guys, I have the stream, I also have my studies, I also have other things like exercising and also learning how to play this thingy-mabob. And also improving my singing stuff. So yeah, so that 1 week when I was in Japan, I was really putting what I have learned to the test. The only thing was that apparently my reading is there. My reading is decent enough for everyday use, like everyday commutating. My reading is there, my listening is also there, like it's good enough for everyday, it's not like going for a job or whatever, it's just good for everyday life. Speaking wise, oh boy, speaking was terrible, man. Like I have the words all in my head, like I know what to say, but my mouth just couldn't say it. But when I do say, apparently the locals were shocked, like they were like, 本当に外人ですか? Then basically it means, are you really a foreigner? Like, because the way I pronounce Japanese words are pretty fluent, but I don't think speaking fluent, being able to speak fluently is something that is something that I like to brag, because I mean it's more practicing, you just need to practice the pronunciation and do immersion, listening to like Japanese news, listening to anime, watching anime, listening to music, and you probably, I didn't really do any shadowing techniques. Oh yeah, don't mind me if you hear the sweet. I'm like getting some lozenges. That's another story that I'll say later. Let me just continue with the Japan story. So yeah, there was a few occasions, right, where I did get to speak with Japanese people, like conversations and stuff like that. And let's just say I was struggling super hard. I think the first day when I came, when I reached, I had dinner at the Narita airport. I mean, most of the flights goes to Narita. Unless you want to go Haneda, but you have to pay extra, that's for sure. And I'm not willing to pay extra for that because it's cheaper to take train from Narita. And I'm used to that as well. So the first conversation I had in Japanese was at a restaurant at Narita airport. So let's just say I made a lot of mistakes when I was speaking, and I still made mistakes like throughout the entire week that helped me to like understand better as to where my level is as a gaijin speaking Japanese. But so far, I think speaking is the worst. And then the best would probably be my reading. My reading is still the best. Wani Kani, man. Wani Kani helped me out a lot. Like sometimes I will unconsciously read and understand. I didn't need to put in effort to read and understand. Like I just look at it, I'm like, oh, I understand what this is. So yeah. And I think the first day was the most demoralizing, but I wasn't demoralized at all. The reason why I say it was a demoralizing event on day one was that actually there was like some locals that made fun of me. Not gonna lie, there were some locals. I was in a restaurant, and there was these two Japanese locals. Why did I say Japanese local? There was these two locals. They were working. They were using their laptop and stuff like that. So they were working, and they heard me speak in Japanese. They were making fun of my Japanese. I can understand what they're saying because my hearing, like I mentioned, it's good. It's my speaking is dog shit. My speaking is dog shit. So yeah, so they were making fun of me, and I understood, and I felt demoralized. Not gonna lie to you, and I know I mentioned that my hearing is good, right? But let's just say I had the biggest like brain fart moment. Like now the restaurant story is done, right? Let's go back before I even like get out of the departure hall at arrival hall at Narita airport. I was still in the immigration counter, right? So you know how there's like the for foreigners and for locals, right? I don't know why I had brain fart moment. I know it's a foreigner section that I'm supposed to queue up at, but I went to the locals, and I think the Japanese staff realized I looked confused and walked to the local counter. He probably realized that, wait, this guy's probably a gaijin. So he went to me, he's like, uh, he was telling me English because he definitely suspected that I was a foreigner. And I was like, hi, arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. すみません、ありがとうございます. I went back to the foreigner counter. I queued up there, right? And another brain fart moment hit me again. I'll explain to you why I have these brain fart moments. It sounds like an excuse, but it's really what I experienced the entire week. So when I queued up and when it was my turn, right, the guy was asking me, something, how many people in Chinese? And the correct answer is Hitori. But because the people at the back were speaking Japanese as well, and I think they were Japanese as well, I don't know, they look confused as to why they queued up in the foreigner counter. Because I think they realized at the very last moment there was a local counter for them, but they forgot. They got like flabbergasted. And I was flabbergasted as well. I was like listening to them talk in Japanese, right? While trying to focus on the English words, and I was like, what? So in then the guy asked me, how many people? The right answer is Hitori, but I was like, Hitotsu. And the guy looked at me strange. He gave me that, the fuck did you just say? Look. And I was like, and I didn't realize that I made a mistake until I checked in the hotel because I was so tired. So back to the reason why I keep having that brain fart moment during day one was because I only had 3 hours of sleep. And you thought 3 hours of sleep, why didn't you sleep in the plane? I was like, I tried. I couldn't. I couldn't. I don't know why. I think I was too excited. I was like, oh yeah, I can feel the Japanese air around me. But yeah, so that was the reason why I had so many brain fart moments and why it's probably one of the most demoralizing day of the entire week. After that, things got better. I was able to like converse in Japanese better. I also learned, and also like managed to recall. I think I learned more Japanese during that 1 week than I have ever learned for past year. I don't know. I guess it's because you already have the foundation and it's more of like adding up and also solidifying the foundation. But I realized even in Tokyo, right? There was a certain point in time I was in Tokyo for like the last few days I was in Tokyo because I had to go to Haneda airport, right? So I had to go back to Tokyo. I was at the outskirts of Tokyo, just doing my usual things, trying to find non-touristy areas, really trying to get that full experience out there while discovering gems, of course. So, yeah, back to the story. So I was in Tokyo, right? Bro, there were some Japanese people, right? Their accent is totally different from others, and I was listening, and I was like, wait, did she? I was so confused. And the way they say certain things, like there was that one time I was at Tokyo Tower, right? I was at Red Tokyo Tower, which you can go Google search, but I assume it was meant to be open to the Japanese people. Because a lot of their facilities is catered to the Japanese people, honestly speaking, but the audience or the group of people that goes to Red Tokyo Tower were usually kids. Parents bringing their kids out, and also students that are ditching school for that day, because I saw quite a few. Not gonna lie, I was like, wait, it's like 11 a.m. Why are there kids? Why are there students here? So there was this game mode, right? So now we fast forward, we're at Red Tokyo Tower. There was this PUBG event. This staff probably assumed I was a local. He did not warn me that it was in Japanese only. So I took the queue ticket for 12:30 p.m. It was 11 o'clock. I took 12:30, so I went to play other stations. So I went back 12:30, hand in my ticket, and the next 30 minutes was the most painful part of my life. Like, I think my brain just shut off because the guy started speaking in Japanese and spoke very fast, and my brain couldn't keep up. All I can do is infer. Wait, give me a moment. I needed to burp there. You'll probably see me mute and maybe hide my camera a lot, but I'll explain as to why that's the case later. So back to the story, right? PUBG. The guy was explaining, there was like 10 minutes worth of instructions, right? It was all in Japanese, and I was like... So I had to look around. And the only people that were with me were like 9-year-old kids. And also, that's the first thing that came to my mind is that, isn't today a school day? I was like, what? So yeah, I was like, whatever. I mean, Japanese kids, they get to ditch school and not be reprimanded for it, right? Compared to other countries. So, in Vienna, I managed to go through the entire part, no issue. The guy didn't have to like tell me, they had to point at me and stuff. I managed to look like I was a local there somehow. Until this very part, one of the kids probably noticed that I wasn't a local. They suddenly introduced themselves to me. I don't remember their names, honestly. Like, even 5 minutes after they like gave their names, right, I couldn't remember. I think they also don't remember mine. So yeah, I think it was like Lika. One of them was Lika, and you something, and then the third one I can't remember. And then the girl, right? So there was like these two guys and one girl, all of them the same age, childhood friends, of course. So it felt like an anime moment, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. So and then this girl was like, she said her name and said that I couldn't hear because it was super loud, right? I think she said Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. But I only hear onegaishimasu. Then I was like, oh, onegaishimasu. Because I want to match their formality, So and then I said onegaishimasu instead of Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. But then after that I realized, what if she said Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, just I couldn't hear it. There's when I was like, oh wait, oops. Because the proper one is Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, and then I said onegaishimasu, and then she was like, she's like, I tell you, both of us were like nodding heads at each other, I was nodding with her friends as well, like, hi. Yeah, I think towards the end, they had fun, honestly. They were like laughing and stuff like that. They were laughing, and I was like, hey, otsukare-sama deshita. But I didn't say that. They also didn't say that. So I was matching their formality, okay? I was matching their formality. So, fast forward, and the reason why I say a lot of students like ditching school and stuff like that, right? After the PUBG event, I just went to look around a bit more. Then there was this net cafe at level 4. So I went to level 4, I looked at the net cafe. I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be like VR, AR, or it's gonna be like something. No, apparently it's just an internet cafe. But it's free because you already paid the admission for it. Guess what? All I see is students in school uniforms playing Flash games. I think I saw some of them playing miniclip and stuff like that. And I was like, what? What is going on? What? So yeah, that was the Read Tokyo Tower event. And also aside from that, right, you know how Tokyo Tower is a tourist attraction, so quote-unquote tourist attraction. So there's this souvenir shop. Part of the souvenir shop, right, one of the snacks they're selling is opai biscuit. I can't even show the photo because I think YouTube will like deep censor it, strike me or something, give me a strike. Opai biscuit. And I'm like, what? They even put it on display, It's like this small layer biscuit with the boop and then the with the TKB on it, and I'm like, what is going on here? So yeah, that was the Tokyo Tower story. Is there any more stories? There were a lot of times where I literally fuck around and get found out. So what I mean by that is that, you know how Google Maps, they'll tell you a certain direction, right? For some reason, the entire week, Google Map has been very inaccurate. So I figured, why not we do it our own way? I look at the map, it gave me the routes. I didn't follow the intended route. I just walk around and see whether I can take any detours. And I found a lot of amazing stuff. But of course, because of that, there was some moments in time where I accidentally missed a stop or two. For example, back on day 0 where I arrived at Narita, so I was supposed to take the Skyline train, and it was supposed to be a Skyline Express train. So it's supposed to skip like all the stops. I'm supposed to get to Tokyo Station in 4 stops. I accidentally took the Skyliner local train or something, I can't remember. So and then instead of spending 40 minutes to reach the Tokyo Station, I spent 1.5 hours reaching the Tokyo Station. So that was one thing. Another thing about the inaccuracies of Google Map is that when I was supposed to get from Tokyo Station to what was that station? I think it was Yokohama. The station after Yokohama. It said I only had to pay 2.8k yen, which is about 2.8k yen. That's about $280. $28. $28 for a express train. It's supposed to be a Shinkansen, which is a bullet train. And I was like, okay, $28, not so bad, right? I bought a ticket. I went to the gantry. I put in the ticket. Error. And the station staff was like, oh, daijoubu desu ka? I was like, oh, wakarimasen. Something. I told him, oh, sumimasen. Nihongo sukunai. Which is like, I know very little Japanese or something like that along that line. So it's like, oh, hi. Over there. You go over there. And when you point there, right, there was the train ticket office and there was the gantry for the other exit. So I was like, oh, so I have to go to that gantry instead. I was like, oh, hi, arigatou gozaimasu. I went there. Same shit happened again. And this time, the guy was kind enough to tell me, our ticket office. Then I was like, oh, hi, wakata. I went in, queue up. And that was still day 0, by the way, the most demoralizing day. So I went there, and then I was telling him like, oh, ticket to Shinkansen Yokohama eki, blah blah blah, you get the gist of it. So he's like, oh, hi, wakarimashita. And I was like, 2800 yen. Then I was like, 2.8k yen. So I was like, wait, I already paid 2.8. Why do I have to pay 2.8 again? Then he was like, oh yeah, reserve seat. And I was like, okay. So then I paid 5.6k yen. So that was day 0. That was a Shinkansen extravaganza. The inaccuracies of Google Map. And then fast forward. So now I was at the station after Yokohama. Now I had to travel to Yokohama because that's my itinerary for that day itself. So I took the train. It was not a bullet train, by the way. No, it was not a bullet train. It was a limited express train. I took the train. I had no issues, taking these trains. I never got ticketed for additional pricing. But for some reason, that day, right, I went in. And usually we are allowed to stand on the train. Like, no one gives a shit if you stand on the Shinkansen or the limited express train, whatever. They like, oh, konnichiwa, sumimasen. So all that good stuff, yeah. So I was standing there. I was 5-10 minutes away from Yokohama station. Suddenly, hey, no worries, man. Just make sure you be prepared for tomorrow, I guess. So fast forward, this train conductor come in. I'm not trying to be a sexist here, but it was a guy train conductor. The female train conductor had no issues with me, but this guy came in, and he was like, ticket arimasu ka? Then I was like, hi, arimasu. Then I showed him the ticket. And I was like, 横浜駅、横浜 station. Are you going Yokohama? I was like, hi, Yokohama. Hey, ticket to ありますか? Then I was like, wait, why is he asking me for the ticket again? I was like, no, ticket to Yokohama eki. Then I was like, I was trying to convince him that I bought the ticket to Yokohama station. Then I was like, yeah, ticket to 買います. Why did I say it with a bloody Caucasian accent? Ticket to 買います. I was like, wait, I have to buy another ticket. So then I had to pay additional 2k yen. Google Map told me I had to pay 1.8k yen, but in the end, because of that guy, I had to pay 3.6k yen, which is so frustrating. And the best part, right, I paid already. And he was telling me, チケットを後でチケットオフィス買います。It's like you have to not return the ticket. You have to give the ticket to the staff at the site. You don't exit through the gantry. So I was like, okay, はい、わかりました。はい、ありがとうございます。And then he was telling me, okay, you need to take a seat in the carriage. And I'm like, what? Why does this guy have so many problems with me? Like other people had no issue. Why does he have problems with me? And it was so frustrating, honestly. I was annoyed. Because I clearly did not plan that. My budget planning did not include this type of bullshittery from the locals. So I took a seat, reached Yokohama, and here comes the best part. I did pay 3.6k yen, right? I walked to the gantry. He told me, okay, you need to go to the site to give the ticket. So I went to the site, I gave the ticket to the staff, and then guess what? The staff asked me, Suica payment. And I was like, oh, okay. She just needs me to tap out on my Suica, right? She's not going to deduct another like 1.6k yen, right? So the moment I tap it, I immediately see minus 1,600 yen, and I'm like, what? I was like, huh? But at that time, I was so done. I was not going to argue with the people there because I don't want to get into trouble. Because we all know that the Japanese police, they favor the locals more, even though they might be in the wrong. So I was like, whatever. So that was like story number 3 or 4 already. I don't know. There was so many stories, man. I think we'll talk about stories later. We spent 30 minutes just talking, my goodness. So that was the immersion / nostalgia trip